Greetings, medics. Welcome to some work examples where we're going to be looking at the quantitative reasoning section of the UCAT and specifically looking at some percentages questions. So, looks like a tricky one. We've got a table and lots of text. So we've got a table which shows the different pay rates for different types of performers for a stage rehearsal. And it's telling us a theatre company is filming a night rehearsal and hires 15 ensemble performers, 2 lead performers, and 5 minor role 3 performers. If the same rehearsal were held during the day instead of at night, and no overtime was involved, what would the percentage decrease in the total payment be? So, ensemble, lead, and minor role 3, that's the day rate. The night rate, ensemble, lead performer, minor role 3. Okay, so what we need to do first of all is calculate the total night pay with no overtime. So total night pay. Okay, so that's this column. So we've got 15 ensemble, so many times that by 94. Let's see what we get. Make sure your columns are consistent with what you're working out here. So this equals 1410. I've got 2 lead performers and the night rate is 128. So 2 lots of 128. It's going to be what? 256. 256. And then I've got 5 minor 3. So this is going to be 5 times 108. And what does that give me? So let's do 5 times 108. And that gives me 540. So then let's get the total. We just add these all up. So 540 plus 256 plus 1410 should get a total of 2206. Okay, so that's the total night pay. So next step is total day pay. So there's quite a lot going on in this question. So the total day pay, this is the column we're looking at now, not the yellow one, so orange. So that's going to be 15 times 85.5 plus 2 times 106 plus 5 times 72, and we should get the total. And let's just plonk it all into the calculator. 15 times 85.5 plus 2 times 106 plus 5 times 72. So that should give us a grand total of 1854.5. Okay, so the next step is to determine the decrease and if it was held during the day instead of night. So where do we go next? So to work out the percentage decrease, okay, so percentage decrease, so we can just work out the decrease in cost. In fact, we can just put it all in one. So we can do 2206 take away 1854.5 all over the night value, which we know as 2206, multiplied by 100. And what does this give us? Let's have a little butchers. So we'll leave that number in 2206, take away that answer, all over 2206. So we get 15.93%. So the answer there is B. Done. Question number 2 also looks like a meaty one. A table, lots of text. So got pay rates for film crews, again, this time working on a wildlife documentary shoot. And crew members are paid different rates for day and night shoots. Okay. And additional overtime pay depending on the shift type. So during a 10-hour night shoot, crew members are paid their basic night rate. So this is presumably the basic night rate plus 2 hours of overtime at the night overtime rate. So we're looking at these values here. And this is presumably per hour. Okay. Cool. So we are, well, I say we, the production team is hiring 12 field assistants. Okay. So one field assistant is getting 90, which is their night rate, plus 2 times 15, which is the 2 extra hours that they're working. That's the 2 hours of overtime at the night rate. Okay, so that's for one person, but we don't have one, we've got 12. Okay, so now let's do the same for the camera operators. So the camera operators, they're getting a bit more. So they're getting 135 plus 2 times 23, and there are 2 of them. And then the drone operators, slightly less than the camera operators, there are 5 of them, and they are getting 112, which is the night rate, plus 2 times 26. Okay, so what we're going to do is bung all these numbers in a calculator and see what we get. So 90 plus 30, so 90 plus 30 is 120 times 12, so 120 times 12 is 1440. 1440. 2 times 23 is 46, so 46 plus 135 times 2 is 362. Okay, 26 times 2 is 52, so 52 plus 112 is 164. So 164 times 5. So 164 times 5 is 820. So let's add these up. What do we get? 820 plus 362 plus 1440. We should get 2622. Final answer. So B, final answer. Let's have a look at what question 3 holds for us. Okay, question 3 looks tricky. There's a big chunky table and some text, but let's inspect the deck. So the table is used to calculate the weighted performance of course A and compare it to course B, both at the same university. Each category contributes to the overall performance based on a specific weighting. Some values are missing and the performance metrics are given below. What is the weighting given to employability focused expressed as a percentage? So employability focus, I'm looking at this one. I don't have it for course B, so I'm only looking at it for course A. So I'm looking at this and this. So I'm guessing let's have a look at how this is determined. So let's see if we can figure this out. I'm assuming here that the weighted score is equal to the rating times the weighting. So let's just check for teaching quality just really quickly, okay? So for teaching quality, we know that the rating is 2 and we know that that is 0.8. So the weighting is going to be equal to 0.8 over 2. So the weighting is going to be 0.4. Okay, that could work. Where 2 lots of 0.4 and give us 0.8, which is the weighted score. Okay, cool. So potentially could be this. In fact, it's this. Now, let's apply this to employability focus. So we know that the rating is 5. We don't know what the weighting is, so let's just call that W. And we know what the weighted score is. It's 0.25. So to work out the weighting, that is going to be 0.25 over 5. Okay, so then do we need to use a calculator? I would argue no, because we're trying to express this as a percentage. So to express this as a percentage, we're going to multiply this by 100. So this becomes, so the percentage is going to be equal to 0.25 over 5 times 100, which equals 25 over 5, which equals 5%. So the answer there is D. And actually, this was an easier question than the 2 previous ones, I would argue. Okay, nice. See you for the next round.